Yo, welcome to ConverStayShuns. My name is Devin Boyd, aka Lyrical Instrumentalist, and I'll be your host today. I don't know why I was starting to talk like that. But I know it's been like too long of a time since my last episode, and I've been kind of slacking off on ConverStayShuns. I had somebody like a few months ago, they were like, yo, you haven't posted in a while. And I was just like, and I couldn't remember who they are or where I seen them at, but they were like, you haven't posted in a while. I was just like, yeah, on which profile? Because, some people who know me know I got like a bunch of Instagram and social media accounts and Facebooks and all sorts of stuff under different aliases. So I was like, under which account? So I figured like by them saying that, I would figure out where I actually know this person from. And if you're listening to this, I do apologize. At the time, I didn't remember you or where I even seen you. You look familiar, but anyways. But yeah, he was like conversations, and I was like, oh shit! Like it hit me by surprise, just the fact that he said that profile. Because like I said, I do poetry, I DJ, produce music, do videography. So like, I kind of go into different aliases and whatnot. So and I do copyright, so that's another one. So I'm like, wow, which one? But the fact that he said conversations, that was the one I didn't think. In my mind, it's like he's not going to say this one, but which one of the other ones? And then I can kind of determine where, But once he said that, I was just like, wow, there's people actually out there, watching and paying attention and looking forward to it. And I probably lost some people, but hopefully, going forward, I'll start gaining those people back as well as more. But there's been a lot of stuff that's happening and transpired over the past several months, so that's kind of been a reason. But I should have actually used some of those reasons to actually even push harder to actually do these podcasts, because like the last one I talked about how life is too short, and I had some different people transition that were nearest and dearest to me and or family, and it's like it makes you kind of start to reflect. So pretty much on this topic, I kind of want to talk about like toxic relationships and how we all basically need to be able to get past them and get rid of those toxic people. And I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle because sometimes you have, and this is going to be probably a continuated episode, but you have some people who are just like that you're very close to, or at least were, but sometimes it's hard to see the forest from the trees. So like you don't understand, or you don't recognize how much of a negative impact they've also had on you as well, and where when you're around them, you feel like maybe you get anxiety or you start feeling like really stressed. And it's like, you shouldn't feel that way when you get around really anything, but you shouldn't feel that way when you get around people that, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to care for, or supposed to be friends with, or family with, or supposed to be like, you're supposed to have a good relationship with, or whatever the case is. Like when you find yourself in like just being in the presence, or just when their name comes up, like, yo, so-and-so is going to be here, and you just start, your stomach starts to turn, like that's a sign from wherever you want to, however you want to say it's coming from God, the high, most high, the universe, wherever. But that's something that's, your body is telling you there's something about that that's not sitting right with you. And sometimes we need to start listening to our bodies, and your spirit and like that energy. We need to start listening to those things, because those are those signs that are like, yo, something, whatever this is, the balance is off with this energy. So like some of those people who like provide you with a lot of toxicity like that, like you have to really start reflecting on some of the things they probably put you through, because there might have been times where you all been hanging out or something, and like you find yourselves in like tough situations or challenging situations, and situations that like could have gotten worse, or wouldn't have never even transpired if that person wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like if you constantly see yourselves in situations like that with individuals, you got to start distancing yourself from them, and like don't feel bad, because like at the same time, you sometimes we feel bad for like disconnecting from certain people, because like the relationships and the bonds that we had, but at the same time those people aren't really taking into consideration what they have put you through, or are going to put you through. They're not taking that into consideration. So like if you do separate yourselves from them, and they get pissed off about it, you gotta look at it this way: like, one, some of those people are consciously aware of what they're doing. So like, don't feel bad. If they get mad, they're going to be in denial about it anyways. And some people are like, I've been running into a lot of people who are like habitual liars. So it's like, you get yourself caught up in some of their lies and this and that. And it's like, damn, like, you've been deceiving me for so long. Like, I can't trust you. But, because you're this relationship, you still want to form this bond with them or keep it. But then it's like, just because like you grew up with them, just because they're your family, just because you're a relative, just because they're your blood, just because you have a business relationship with them or whatever the case is that keeps y'all connected, it doesn't mean you have to subject or subdue yourself to that kind of energy. Like, excuse me, but like, we really have to start distancing ourselves from that. Like, I've heard about like, and again, this will be a continuation, but a close person that's very dearest to me, their parents have kind of start to try to shit on them and what they're doing in their life. And it's like, it's hard to dismiss your parents because, you love them and they raised you and all of that. But people are people everywhere you go. To me, the relationship and who you are doesn't give you a pass for what you do. If you do something fucked up, like, it needs to be rectified. And if you're not willing to, acknowledge your fuck up, then I got to, separate myself from you. It doesn't matter who you are, because the fact of the matter is, if you did something fucked up and you're not trying to acknowledge it, you're going to continue to keep doing that. And why should I keep staying within your reach of, those kind of vibes and being stressed out or being called this and that or being, you know what I mean? Like, just being subjected to somebody else's bullshit and their negativity. Life is too short. We don't have time for all that. You know what I mean? Like I said, live for the now, because today isn't promised. It's like, just imagine those last moments, and I'm not trying to make anybody cry or anything, but those last moments of your life, and you took those last moments of your life to deal with somebody's bullshit when you could have been doing so much more. You know what I mean? Like, and just with any kind of relationship, some relationships aren't meant to last. Some relationships are meant to be temporary. You might meet somebody and you're cool with them and really good friends with them for 6 months or something. But then from there, you maybe meet somebody through them who, helps you jump through your career or whatever the case is. Some relationships are meant to be temporary. We meet people, we go through things in life, as stepping stones to get to where our destiny is. That's just part of life. And sometimes maybe family members are like that. Maybe your parents, put you here so you can meet these certain people, so you can make this impact on life. Maybe it is time to distance yourself from your family member or your parent who's shitting on your dreams or whatever. It just might be the case. But this is something I would say that we all should start doing with some of these toxic people. Like, just any of those people that you feel like, hey, every time I'm with them, I just get this like, like, maybe like if you speak to them daily or however, whatever the frequency that you speak to them, shorten that maybe, right? So I'm just going to say daily, don't talk to them for 2 days. Just kind of go cold turkey with it. Just don't talk to them. And it's going to make you feel a little bit anxious because you're probably used to it, whatever. But if all your conversations with them always kind of make your stomach cringe or whatever, try to go like a day or two without talking to them. And see how much like weight you start feeling, lifted off of your spirit. And if you start kind of feeling good about that, maybe go a third day, go a fourth day, and just let that shit continue until you just start feeling your spirit and your energy just start to excel, because you don't have this person and this entity, this individual who is just trying to bring you down all the time. And some people do that out of jealousy. You know what I'm saying? They call you, they say they're your homegirl or homeboy or whatever the case is. But some people do that shit out of jealousy. Some people are just haters. Some people are just hateful people. Some people project their negativity on you. Some people just aren't one with themselves. So it's like they try to, bring somebody else down. Or some people just can't, cope with who they are, what they've gone through in their own life. So then, they kind of lash out and take it out in a different way. So I get like on one hand, you try to help some people, but you can't help people who don't want to help themselves, who aren't making the initiative to actually help themselves. So that's another thing with some of those toxic people. Like, don't get caught, trying to stay and be there for them just because you know that they might need some different kind of help, when you keep trying to help them, or you keep seeing how they keep putting themselves in like horrible situations. It's like, yo, I can't drag myself down with you just because of the relationship that we have. And I know you need the help, but at the same time, you're not really trying to actually help yourself, And again, like, life is too short. I don't have to deal with that. So again, like I say, before I end this, a good idea that we should all start doing with these toxic people or toxic entities or whatever, like stuff that just brings you these ill feelings, or people or whatever, like, let's just try to gradually distance ourselves from them and see how much better you feel, and gradually you feel. Again, it's going to be a hard thing, especially depending on the relationship that you have with the person or people or whatever. But like, we got to start, taking into consideration our own health and spiritual well-being, and our own mental state, because like that kind of toxicity, whether, even though it's not necessarily a physical toxicity, but like, some people's negative energy like that, it can start becoming, your mental controls your physical. So when stuff starts to weigh in your spirit and your mental, it becomes, kind of you, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, y'all know what I'm saying. It basically becomes a part of you. So again, let's just try to, cut out some of this toxicity out of our lives, and, let's start trying to do better for ourselves, and let's start living. Again, let's live life to be and exist, and not die slow. Again, my name is Devin Boyd, aka Lyrical Instrumentalist. Thank y'all for tuning in to Conversations, and peace.